General Hospital will reveal Denise Alexander, a woman who carried the light of artistry within her from a young age, passed away at the age of 85 on March 5, leaving behind an irreplaceable void in the hearts of devoted fans who had followed her dazzling career for more than 7 decades. Her sudden passing due to a stroke sent shockwaves through not only her family and friends but also the millions of admirers across the globe. No one could have foreseen that the gentle gaze which once conveyed such heartfelt emotion through the screen, the warm smile that had comforted so many, and the richly expressive voice that had echoed through countless scenes would all fall silent in one fleeting, tragic moment. The news was first shared with the public by her lifelong partner, director Richard Kalla, who had stood by her side in both her professional and personal life. In a brief yet deeply emotional statement, he expressed a grief that words could scarcely contain. He hadn't just lost a wife, he had lost his soul's companion, the guiding light of his life's journey, both as an artist and as a man. Those who saw the sorrow in his eyes, heard the tremor in his voice as he spoke her name, knew all too well that this was not merely the loss of a person, but the collapse of an entire world built upon decades of love, devotion, and shared dreams. As soon as the heartbreaking news was confirmed, fans, especially those devoted to General Hospital, where she famously portrayed Dr. Leslie Weber, were overwhelmed with emotion. To them, Denise wasn't just an actress. She was a symbol of dedication, a rare talent who had poured her soul into every role and etched herself into the memories of entire generations. Her performance as Dr. Weber transcended the screen. She wasn't just playing a mother, a doctor, a woman of strength and compassion. She was those things. Through her artistry, she became a mirror for the audience's own emotions, struggles, and hopes. Social media platforms soon flooded with tributes, tearful messages, heartfelt stories, cherished photos from her career, and video clips capturing her most unforgettable scenes. From older fans who had watched her in the 1970s to younger viewers who discovered her through reruns or family stories, there was a shared sense of loss. Many expressed that it felt like losing a member of their own family, someone who had accompanied them throughout life, who had been there in the background of their youth, their adulthood, their memories. Her colleagues and former co-stars were no less affected. They remembered Denise as someone who was not only deeply committed to her craft but also incredibly kind, humble, and supportive. She was a mentor to many, especially younger actors, always ready with guidance, always leading by example. Whether she was cast in a major storyline or returning for a brief guest appearance, she never treated any scene as unimportant. Every performance was marked by authenticity and passion. That is why, at the mere mention of her name, people think immediately of a truly irreplaceable figure in daytime television. Across the globe, fans sent flowers, condolence cards, and handwritten letters to her family, each message carrying its own fragment of grief, gratitude, and admiration. From short notes of remembrance to full-length accounts of how she had touched their lives, these tributes were more than just farewells, they were proof that Denise had lived not just for herself but for millions of others. Her legacy was not only in the roles she portrayed but in the hearts she moved, the comfort she offered, and the inspiration she provided. And so, although the stage lights have dimmed and the cameras no longer roll in her presence, the image of Denise Alexander will never fade. She will live on eternally in the memories of those who loved her, in the timeless scenes she left behind, and in the fire she ignited in the hearts of all who had the privilege to witness her brilliance. Denise Alexander was born on November 11, 1939, in the bustling heart of New York City, a place that pulsed with culture, creativity, and the vibrant rhythm of theatrical expression. From the very beginning, art was not just a backdrop to her life, it was its very essence. She was raised in a family that lived and breathed performance, where the line between everyday life and the world of stage and screen was often blurred. Her father, Alec Alexander, was a well-respected talent agent, known for representing notable names like Frank Gorshin and Sal Mineo. His deep immersion in the entertainment industry meant that Denise was exposed to the magic of acting and storytelling at a formative age. Theirs was a home where scripts and headshots were just as common as books and breakfast, and where the ambitions of show business were not only encouraged but expected. With her father's guidance and the encouragement of those around her, Denise stepped into the world of acting earlier than most. At just 12 years old, she made her television debut on the Armstrong Circle Theater, a dramatic anthology series that was known for its intense realism and emotionally complex narratives. Even in these early years, it was clear that Denise was not just a child dabbling in television, she was a natural. Her presence on screen radiated an emotional maturity far beyond her age, and her ability to inhabit her roles with quiet intensity set her apart immediately. As the 1950s and 60s unfolded, a golden age for American television, Denise quickly became one of the most recognizable young faces on the small screen. Her talent, coupled with an innate ability to adapt to a wide range of characters, led to a steady stream of appearances in some of the most beloved and enduring series of the era. She graced programs such as Father Knows Best, where her warmth and relatability made her instantly endearing to family audiences. In The Life of Riley, she showcased her comedic timing, holding her own alongside seasoned actors in light-hearted yet poignant storylines. Her appearance in The Twilight Zone, a show famed for its cerebral scripts and haunting twists, demonstrated her ability to carry more dramatic, emotionally charged material with subtlety and strength. Denise's acting was never one-dimensional. Whether playing the innocent girl next door or someone navigating moral complexities, she infused each role with a rare combination of sensitivity and depth. Her expressive eyes, gentle voice, and the grace with which she carried herself allowed her to connect with audiences in a deeply personal way. She wasn't merely playing roles, she was breathing life into them. Her work in shows like Ben Casey and Sea Hunt allowed her to step into the fast-evolving landscape of television drama. In Ben Casey, a medical drama known for its gritty realism and emotional weight, she brought tenderness and vulnerability to storylines that explored life and death stakes. Meanwhile, Sea Hunt, with its adventurous underwater settings and suspenseful plots, allowed her to explore roles that demanded courage and emotional intensity in equal measure. In every performance, whether grounded in domestic life or set against high-stakes backdrops, Denise brought an emotional intelligence and professionalism that earned her the admiration of directors, writers, and viewers alike. Her growing body of work in this period not only solidified her as a fixture in American television but also built the foundation for a career that would span more than half a century. These formative years were not just the prelude to fame. They were proof of her extraordinary commitment, her work ethic, and her deep understanding of the craft. From that first moment under the glare of studio lights, Denise Alexander proved that she was born not merely to act, but to make a lasting impact on the world of performance. Denise Alexander's career reached its most iconic height when she stepped into the role of Dr. Leslie Weber on General Hospital in 1973. A role that would not only define her legacy but become a cornerstone in the golden era of American daytime television. It wasn't just a character she portrayed, Leslie Weber was a symbol of enduring compassion, maternal strength, and unshakable moral integrity in a world often consumed by chaos, betrayal, and heartbreak. Through this role, Denise became the emotional anchor of the series, and in many ways, the heart of General Hospital itself. Leslie Weber was more than a fictional doctor. She was a woman of profound empathy and courage, someone who embodied the highs and lows of a life filled with both immense love and devastating pain. Denise infused every scene with a rare emotional nuance, capturing the full spectrum of Leslie's experiences, from her quiet, longing vulnerability when she yearned for Rick Weber's affection, to her fierce strength in confrontations with the formidable Monica Quartermaine. These weren't just performances. They were deeply human moments that made audiences feel as though they were witnessing something raw and real. As Leslie, Denise navigated storylines that pushed her character to the brink. She endured unimaginable loss, betrayal, and deception, yet always carried herself with grace and dignity. When Heather Weber poisoned Leslie in one of the show's most chilling arcs, Denise delivered a performance filled with subtle terror, resilience, and the desperate will to survive. Her portrayal made the danger feel palpably real and heightened the stakes not just for her character, but for everyone connected to her. Later, when Leslie fell into the crosshairs of the manipulative Stephen Cassadine and was drugged into a catatonic state, Denise's silent presence still commanded the screen. Even when unable to speak, her expressive eyes and controlled physicality spoke volumes, a testament to her extraordinary range as an actress. Denise Alexander gave Leslie a deep-rooted humanity that transcended the usual boundaries of soap opera drama. She wasn't just reacting to plot twists, she was embodying the soul of a woman who had lived through immense personal evolution. Viewers saw a mother who would go to any length for her daughter, Laura, a woman torn between duty and desire, a professional grappling with moral dilemmas in a hospital that often mirrored the chaos of her personal life. Through it all, Denise never played Leslie as infallible or perfect. Instead, she portrayed her with authenticity and vulnerability, making her all the more beloved. Leslie Webber became not just a fan favorite, but a cultural touchstone. Her relationships, particularly the emotionally fraught and competitive dynamic with Monica Quartermaine, provided some of the most compelling and memorable conflicts in daytime history. These weren't simply two women fighting for the same man. They were two complex individuals, shaped by pain, ambition, and love, clashing in ways that felt heartbreakingly real. Denise's ability to shift effortlessly between steely defiance and emotional surrender gave their interactions a dramatic electricity that captivated audiences for years. Over time, Leslie's evolution mirrored that of the show itself. From love triangles to medical crises, from family betrayals to courtroom dramas, she was there, always steady, always grounded, always Leslie. And through it all, Denise Alexander remained a constant, a performer who gave her all to a role that would span decades and resonate across generations. Her dedication to the character never waned, and whether she was center stage or making a rare return, her presence carried the weight of history, reminding viewers of General Hospital's enduring legacy. In the pantheon of daytime television, Leslie Webber stands tall as one of its most enduring characters. Not because of sensational plotlines alone, but because Denise Alexander brought her to life with authenticity, restraint, and emotional depth. It is rare to find a performance that can both comfort and challenge, that can make you cry, reflect, and feel seen all at once. But that is exactly what Denise did. Through Leslie, she gave the world a woman who was deeply flawed, fiercely loving, profoundly hurt, and endlessly brave. And in doing so, she became more than just an actress in a long-running series. She became a part of people's lives, a symbol of strength in their own storms, and a lasting emblem of the golden age of daytime television. Denise Alexander's contributions to the world of television extended far beyond her legendary role on General Hospital. Her career was a tapestry woven with rich, multifaceted performances that transcended any single genre or character. She left an indelible mark not only as Dr. Leslie Webber but also through her unforgettable appearances in other major soap operas such as Days of Our Lives, Another World, and Sunset Beach. Each of these roles showcased a different side of her expansive talent, each layered, emotionally resonant, and uniquely compelling. She brought depth and authenticity to every character she embodied, whether it was the fiercely independent Susan Hunter Martin in Days of Our Lives, the complex and emotionally scarred Mary McKinnon in Another World, or the serene and spiritual Sister Beatrice in Sunset Beach. These performances were not mere extensions of her fame, they were living proof of her range, versatility, and relentless commitment to the craft. But Denise's reach was not confined to the world of daytime television. Her filmography extended gracefully into primetime dramas and feature films, where she continued to shine. She starred in memorable productions such as That Funny Feeling, a charming romantic comedy that allowed her to exercise her natural comedic instincts, Zoya, the film adaptation of the Danielle Steele novel, where she deftly moved through emotionally fraught territory. And The Lindbergh Kidnapping Case, where she brought a poignant intensity to a dramatization of one of America's most haunting real-life tragedies. Through these varied roles, Denise Alexander demonstrated an uncanny ability to mold herself to any story, any tone, any time period. Whether she was portraying a light-hearted love interest or a grief-stricken mother, a dutiful nun or a woman grappling with trauma, she delivered performances that felt deeply rooted, never surface-level. She was an actress who disappeared into her characters, not to escape herself, but to illuminate their humanity for the rest of us to see. And yet, for all the fame, acclaim, and professional accomplishments, Denise Alexander remained grounded in the simplicity and sincerity of everyday life. Her success never distanced her from the values she held most dear: family, authenticity, and personal passion. She was a woman who embraced the ordinary with just as much grace as the extraordinary. Off-screen, she channeled her creative energy into photography, a quiet yet profound passion that allowed her to capture life's fleeting moments through her own lens. For Denise, photography was more than a hobby; it was a way of preserving beauty, emotion, and memory in its most unfiltered form. Just as she had once done through dialogue and dramatic arcs, she now expressed herself through stillness and silence, snapshots that revealed the soul of a moment. Her life was also marked by deep and enduring love. Her marriage to director Richard Kalla stood as a rare and cherished example of partnership in an industry often defined by impermanence. Their union was a source of strength and stability, a creative and emotional bond that withstood the tests of time. Denise also embraced the role of stepmother to Elizabeth, Richard's daughter, with the same compassion and devotion she brought to her roles on screen. Theirs was a home filled with genuine connection, where love was not bound by blood, but by choice and presence. That harmony between her personal and professional life wasn't accidental; it was the product of a woman who knew who she was and never allowed celebrity to dilute her essence. The news of her sudden passing struck like lightning under clear skies. Fans across generations found themselves blindsided by the loss of a figure who had been a constant in their lives for so long. To the public, her warmth was as familiar as family, her voice as comforting as an old friend's. For those in the industry, the grief was no less palpable. Actors, producers, writers, those who had worked with her, learned from her, and admired her from afar, paused to remember not just her performances, but her presence. It was hard to imagine future reunions of the General Hospital cast without her, to picture a world where she would no longer clasp a fellow actor's hand, share a quiet memory backstage, or light up a room with her gentle smile and thoughtful conversation. She had become more than a peer; she was an icon, a mentor, and, above all, a reminder of what artistry looked like when driven not by ego, but by pure, unshakable passion. In the days following her death, a wave of love swept in from around the globe. Thousands of fans sent flowers and cards to her family. People of all ages, from elderly viewers who had first seen her on black and white television screens in the 1970s to younger audiences who had only discovered her through reruns or through stories passed down from parents, shared their memories with tearful gratitude. They remembered not just the actress, but the emotions she evoked. For many, Denise had been there during moments of joy and heartbreak, illness and healing, change and constancy. She had been a part of their lives, and now, with her passing, it felt as though a piece of their own story had quietly come to an end. But while Denise Alexander may have left this world, the legacy she leaves behind remains as vibrant and indelible as ever. Her life's work. Those countless hours of heartfelt performance, those interviews brimming with wisdom, those quiet photographs capturing slivers of time, will continue to inspire generations of actors, dreamers, and viewers. She did not simply pass through the entertainment world, she helped shape it. She lived a life rich in meaning, courage, and beauty, and her name now stands proudly in the sacred pantheon of performance, a place reserved for those whose artistry was matched only by their humanity. The spotlight may have dimmed, the stage fallen silent, but in the hearts of her admirers, Denise Alexander continues to shine, forever luminous, forever cherished, and forever remembered.